The movie begins 2 years ago in the town of Maybrook. A teacher named Justine walks into her classroom and finds it empty, except for one student, Alex Lilly. The night before, at 2:17 a.m., all of her other 17 students had walked out of their homes and vanished into the night with their arms stretched forward. Security cameras caught them leaving, but there was no sign of anyone taking them. Police questioned both Alex and Justine many times, but neither had answers. The school closed for a month while investigators searched the area, but the missing children were never found. When the school reopened, the townspeople gathered for a meeting led by Principal Marcus. The parents blamed Justine, saying she must have done something to make the kids run away. Justine tried to explain that she loved her students, but the crowd only shouted at her. Marcus defended her, but the parents accused him of helping her. A detective had to escort Justine out to keep her safe. Later, Justine went to a store to buy alcohol, something she had been relying on since the tragedy. While there, she got a call from a blocked number. A voice threatened her, and she quickly hung up. Outside, a drug addict named James asked her for money, but she ignored him. That night at home, Justine heard her doorbell ring, but no one was there when she checked. Soon after, there was a knock at the door. When she finally stepped outside, she found the word "witch" spray-painted on her car. The next morning, Justine tried to wash the graffiti off but failed, forcing her to drive to school with the car still marked. Marcus put her on a leave of absence and advised her to seek help for her mental health. Alex had already been moved to another class and was doing well. Justine wanted to speak with him, but Marcus forbade it, saying she had a pattern of overstepping professional boundaries, like hugging crying children or giving a student a ride home after they missed the bus. Frustrated, Justine broke down in her car. Later, she filed a police report for the vandalism and threatening calls. At the station, she ran into her ex-boyfriend Paul, leading to an awkward encounter. That night, they met again at a bar. Paul expressed concern about her situation, but she assured him she could handle herself. He admitted he was no longer with his wife. Eventually, the two ended up at her home, where they spent the night together. The following morning, Justine drove Paul home, venting that the police weren't working hard enough on the case. Later, she stopped near the school and waited for the buses. When Alex was dropped off, she followed him to his house. Justine rang the bell and knocked, but nobody answered. All the windows were covered in newspapers. Worried, she went to the backyard and peeked through a small gap, spotting Alex's parents sitting unnaturally still on the couch. Shaken, she called Marcus to report it, but he scolded her for stalking Alex. Soon after, at a grocery store, Justine was suddenly attacked by Paul's wife Donna, who knew about their night together. Justine tried to explain that Paul told her he was single, but Donna didn't believe her and poured alcohol on her before being dragged away by the clerk. That night, Justine dreamed of her classroom. All the kids had their heads down until Alex looked up with clown makeup and smiled. She woke in fear and then saw a red-haired woman on her ceiling, who vanished instantly. The next day, Justine tried to talk to Alex. He shouted at her and ran home. When she watched his house from her car, she fell asleep, and someone cut a lock of her hair. Archer, a grieving father, was still obsessed with finding his missing son. He watched old footage, begged police for answers, and even vandalized Justine's car, blaming her. His grief grew worse, and he dreamed of his son, only to see the red-haired woman instead. Later, he mapped the children's paths and saw they all led to one place. On his way, he saw Justine at a gas station. Suddenly, Marcus appeared, bloody and moving like the children. He attacked Justine until Archer stepped in. Meanwhile, Officer Paul caught James breaking into a house. After pricking himself on James's needle, he beat him and let him go, hoping to hide the assault. Later, James sneaked into the Lilly house and was horrified. Alex's parents sat frozen with scars, and in the basement, all the missing children stood still before turning their heads toward him. James ran, unaware he had found the truth. After using the money to buy more of his favorite substance, James called the police to tell them where the kids were. The cop was skeptical, so he asked James to come to the station for a talk. When James was about to go in, Paul saw him and yelled at him. James ran into the forest to hide. There, he was shocked to see the red-headed woman waving at him and rushed into his tent. Moments later, a shadow appeared outside, so James attacked it with his needles. But it turned out to be Paul, who dragged James out of the tent and pointed a gun at him. James saved himself by yelling that he knew where the kids were. Following James's directions, Paul arrived at the Lily house. James, watching from the car, was shocked to see someone open the door and let Paul inside. Hours passed, and it wasn't until nightfall that Paul came out. He rushed toward the car as if in a trance, dragged James out, and growled like an animal. James screamed for help, but nobody heard him before he was pulled into the house. Going back in time, Marcus was in the supermarket when he got a call from Justine about what she had seen. Marcus promised to talk to Alex's parents. However, when the meeting day came, the one who showed up was the red-haired woman, Alex's Aunt Gladys, who claimed Alex's parents were sick and couldn't leave the house. Marcus explained that there had been a welfare complaint about Alex, and that his duty was to speak with the child's legal guardians, otherwise he'd have to call the authorities. The next day, Gladys came to Marcus's home. She asked for water, but demanded it in a bowl. She wanted to know if Marcus had contacted the authorities. After he said no, she pulled out a ribbon she had stolen from his office, wrapped it around a strange-looking branch, and covered it with her own blood. When Marcus's husband Terry came closer to help with the cloth, Gladys cut off a lock of his hair. Marcus grabbed the phone to call the police, but Gladys rang a bell that sent him into a trance. His body trembled as she wrapped Terry's hair around the branch and snapped it. Suddenly, Marcus attacked Terry, choking him, vomiting black liquid onto his face, and then headbutting him repeatedly until he was dead. Gladys later replaced Terry's hair on the branch with Justine's. When she broke it again, Marcus was sent on a mission to kill her. At the gas station, Marcus attacked Justine and Archer. Justine tried to hide, but Archer tackled Marcus long enough for her to escape. Marcus chased her, broke her car window, and ran after her. Archer pursued too, but the chase ended when Marcus was struck by another vehicle, his head splattering across the road. At the hospital later, Archer told the police everything. He then spoke with Justine, saying he no longer believed she was guilty. He showed her the map of where all the kids had run, and Justine immediately recognized the marked spot as Alex's house. Another flashback revealed Alex's life before the disappearances. Alex was shy and lonely, often bullied at school. His parents were kind and loving until one day they announced that Aunt Gladys, who was sick, would be staying with them. That night she arrived, and Alex soon discovered she wasn't what she seemed. He peeked into her room and saw a red wig and a strange tree with crooked branches. The next day, when he returned home, his parents were sitting stiffly at the table, robotic in speech and manner. Gladys told him they were fine, but Alex knew something was wrong. Soon, Alex was forced into helping Gladys. She demanded that he bring her something from each of his classmates. He stole their name tags from the classroom bins and gave them to her. Gladys performed a ritual at night, breaking the tags into a bowl, spitting on them, and ringing a bell. At that moment, all of Alex's classmates walked out of their houses and entered his. She used them, along with Alex's parents, in her dark spells. Alex kept feeding his spellbound parents and classmates. After some time, Gladys said they would leave town. She warned Alex never to cross the salt line at her door, where his parents stood guard. Later, Justine and Archer came to the Lily house. They saw Paul step outside, wave, and go back in. When Justine entered, Paul attacked her. He didn't seem to feel pain, even when she cut his face. Upstairs, Alex finally crossed the salt line. His parents woke up and chased him. In panic, Alex grabbed a branch from Gladys's ritual tree, smeared it with his own blood, and tied Justine's hair to it. Meanwhile, Archer and Justine fought Paul and James. Justine shot them both, but Paul only died when she shot his head. James, however, kept coming back. In the basement, the missing kids stood still like statues. At last, Alex broke the branch. The children turned against Gladys. They chased her through the neighborhood, smashing into houses as frightened neighbors watched. Finally, the children jumped on her and tore her apart. When Gladys died, the spell was broken. Alex's parents and Archer were freed, though his parents were later sent to an institution. The missing kids went back to their families, but many couldn't talk for a long time. Alex went to live with a kinder aunt. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.